Mediscare is back. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to look at an advertisement that my wife Rachel received in her Facebook feed. Now, I didn't see this, I'm probably not the demographic, but it appeared in her feed. Paid for by Australian unions. Stop Morrison's cuts to Medicare. Sign our petition. Sign our petition. Now, do you all remember Mediscare, everyone? Do you all remember it? You know, they had it back at the last election. This is what they're calling for. Morrison's Medicare overhaul. How will new changes affect your medical costs? See, this is it. It's just the headlines. That's all people are going to read. And then if they get you to actually sign the petition, in many ways, it's an effective persuasion strategy. You'll find once people put pen to paper, once they write something, they start to identify it and starts to become part of their core identity and character. So once you're signing petitions for the union movement to protect Medicare, it doesn't matter. You know, it's ingrained. It's part of who you are now. The Morrison government is set to completely overhaul the Medicare rebate system, leaving some patients with unexpected out-of-pocket costs. Oh no. Notice how this is the thing. You need to overhaul it. You can't keep it the same all the time. And the last Mediscare was complete bunk. It was actually fraudulent information. We'll have a look at that. Sent out to people. I saw it on the election day. I saw people, Labour spruikers, handing out and lying to voters about Medicare. Did it matter? No. We need to get the ACCC in on this. Consumer protection. Or buyer beware, everyone. Don't trust the lies the politicians tell you. Due to start next month, the shake-up includes over 900 amendments to the Medicare benefit scheme, changing the way Medicare pays for important treatments and surgeries. You know, what is changing exactly? The MBS is a list of health services the government subsidizes with Medicare rebates. Simply put, the list details the amount the government chips in to help cover our medical costs. So what's wrong with revising that? This is the thing. And it's not necessarily they're revising the scheme. How many of them will be cuts? How many of them won't be? Is it a bad thing if they do? Medicare is quite expensive. We all have to pay it one way or another. So let's jump back and have a look at, well, what happened in 2016, everyone. The Mediscare back then. And, well, we'll jump over. We'll look at this. So, election 2016, Mediscare and other tactics from the Labour campaign handbook. And guys, this is ABC. So, you know, it's ABC, guys. It's not a partisan newspaper or your crazy nutcases who thinks Murdoch runs the world. There is still no victor from the election 2016, but win or lose, Labour's campaign is already being seen as a success. So how has the underdog team led by Bill Shorten come so close to overthrowing the coalition? Wow, I mean, it's just retro looking back at this. I mean, you reckon they'll go with the next election with Shorten again? Theirs was the campaign fought on many fronts, boots on the ground. Thousands of volunteers, a social media blitz, and a bus that crisscrossed the country. Labour's campaign advisor, Darren Brannett, is almost poetic in his praise of what he says was a disciplined and united campaign. Well, they didn't win, did they? They didn't win. You know, there's no prize for being first to the losers. It was a wonderful campaign and beautifully executed by Bill and the entire team of people across the ALP and its affiliates, he told Dateline. We knew that we were in a strong position, but not necessarily quite to the extent that Saturday night turned out. They always have to spin it positively. He says Mr. Shorten's bus tour of the country was a bit of old-school campaigning that worked, and they also took the message to social media. People are increasingly receiving their info on Facebook and Twitter. And if you have something that comes on autoplay, you've probably got 2 seconds to get someone's attention, he said. You need to put some text so they know what it's about, and you have 7 seconds to get a call to action, so things have sped up. So 7 seconds. Notice it's the call to action. Same thing there with the unions. They want a call to action. They want you to interact. They want you to take part. Once you take an action, that's a step. It's about solidifying your vote. And, well, we know the outcome now. Labour stalwart Bob Hawke kick-started what was soon dubbed the Mediscare campaign, spreading the message that Medicare was at risk of privatisation under the coalition, and that's complete and utter bunk. Mr. Burnett said it was a message that resonated. The whole way through on health, the Turnbull government didn't know or wouldn't tell us what their agenda was, and that's why the Australian people, this campaign resonated with them, he said. So Labor's outside help hits the phones. Aside from its own campaigning, Labor had plenty of help. Unionists called thousands of union members in marginal seats with a clear message, urging them to put Liberals last on the ballot paper. There was unofficial assistance from the outside too, more than 3,000 volunteers joining the ranks of community campaigning organisation Get Up for an 8-week assault on the most conservative MPs. And Get Up is a political organisation. Get Up, and we'll look at another article, they were members of Get Up were stalking politicians, were stalking people running for Parliament. They're not the good guys. And, the rubbish they hand out, guys. Get Up's Paul Osting said they campaigned for health, education and climate change action, hitting the phones in marginal seats with the aim of claiming some scalps. The strategy was to target these hard-right blocks in marginal seats and go down there to try and take votes away from them, to show them that if they hold these views, they are against the public interest. Then they will lose votes come election day, and we have really succeeded in doing that. Well, no, you haven't. You lost. You lost the election, guys. But anyway, Labor Senator Eric Abetz blamed Get Up's grubs for Andrew Nicolick's loss in the Tasmanian seat of Bass. We had Get Up spending and bragging about the fact they spent $500,000 just in the seat of Bass, with 10 full-time people, besmirching the character of a great Australian servant, he said. We have these grubs going around the electorate besmirching his character, $500,000, and that was just from Get Up. No match for our resources in Tasmania. This is the problem, everyone. The power these people have. So voters heard Labor's message. The final 72 hours of the election campaign was crucial for Labor. When the party released its costing showing a growing deficit, many wrote it off. Well, isn't that funny? A deficit used to be an issue. It really does seem quaint, doesn't it? Worrying about deficits. But, well, let's have a look at the controversial message that they sent out. The lies that they sent to people. The Australian Federal Police to investigate fake election day tweets to voters saying PM planned to privatise the service. Mr. Turnbull's plans to privatise Medicare will take us down the road of no return. Time is running out to save Medicare. This is what they sent to people. This is what pensioners were walking to the voting poll believing, that they had to vote for Labor to save their Medicare. Thousands of fake election day text messages to voters purporting to be from Medicare and saying that the PM was planning to privatise it will be investigated by the AFP. The messages were from account sender Medicare. Says Mr. Turnbull's plans to privatise Medicare will take us down the road of no return. Time is running out to save Medicare. Vote Labor. So vote such and such in Labor today. There you go. There's the message. The Department of Human Services responsible for Medicare confirmed it had not sent the message. Labor's Queensland branch said it had sent the messages, but that it had not intended to make them appear to have come from Medicare. In his election night address, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull said the Labor Party ran some of the most systematic, well-funded lies ever peddled in Australia. The massed ranks of the union movement and all of their millions of dollars telling vulnerable Australians that Medicare was going to be privatised or sold frightened people in their bed. Well, it did. And how much of the union funds that are going to support these type of things is coming from super that we're forced to pay into? Even as voters went to the polls, There were text messages being sent to thousands of people across Australia saying that Medicare was about to be privatised by the Liberal Party. The SMS message said it came from Medicare, an extraordinary act of dishonesty. No doubt the police will investigate. Regrettably, more than a few people were misled. There's no doubt about that. See, here in Australia, for those Americans watching, we don't need some elaborate system to shonk the elections. Our politicians will just blatantly lie. Well, they do that in America too, didn't they? How's that student debt reduction going? Biden tended to forget about that. The AFP yesterday confirmed it had received a complaint about the message, and the AFP did investigate it, and, well, nothing's come of it. The so-called Mediscare formed a central part of Labor's election pitch in the closing weeks of the campaign and had been described by the coalition as being without any foundation. I mean, this is it. Their campaign is purely based on what value did they add. On multiple occasions, opposition leader Bill Shorten refused to offer any evidence that the coalition was planning to privatise Medicare, and Mr. Turnbull repeatedly vowed to retain it as a public service. I mean, who would buy it? Who would buy Medicare, everyone? Seriously, come on. It's not a money-making scheme, guys. So, there we have it. Mediscare is indeed back, and Rachel, well, received this advert. It's the same old rubbish again. Lies, fear-mongering to manipulate people. Don't fall for it. Seriously. And what's the solution? Well, I think political organisations need to be held accountable for false advertising. So the lies that Get Up spread, the lies that other organisations spread, need to be held accountable. What do you think? Forget about politicians lying. It's too late then. You want to look at the organisations that are spreading these lies, particularly the ones that are removed and independent. Sure. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. Did you fall for the Medicare scare? And do you think you'll fall for it again? If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.